Before we get underway with this video, I wanted to give you the tale of the tape of how today's show is probably gonna go. There are a few hockey games that I should be paying attention to. The Canadiens are playing the Leafs, and the Canucks are playing the Calgary Flames. However, I do have myself a very lovely night out with a very special someone coming up, and as a result, I'm not going to be able to watch the Canadiens game, not going to be able to make a video about it either, so yeah, that's a few thousand views that we're going to be missing out on here, but it's for a good cause. Don't worry. And for the Vancouver Canucks game, don't worry, we'll make another video talking about some Canucks news later on in the afternoon, so if any Canucks fans are tuning into this video, which I don't know why you would be because it's a Canadiens topic, but we will be going out there and talking about some Canucks stuff later on in today's show, and I'll highlight what the plan will be for that. However, Canadiens game against the Leafs later today, I'm not going to be able to watch it, not going to be able to make a video about it. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow if there's some extra stuff to go over, but with all that in mind, I wanted to introduce the topic of this video. You know what I want to start doing? I want to put a spotlight onto some of the guys who have had a really difficult time getting back to where they are now. You already know from the title and from the thumbnail of this video whom it is we are talking about. We're heading over to TVA Sports and reading this piece published earlier yesterday by Vincent Duquette, because it goes out there and talks about Montreal Canadiens forward Patrik Laine and how he is pretty hard on himself. A moment of frustration for Laine at Canadiens training. Now, I'm not even going to go out there and say I read the article yet. I did see some of the quotes. I love some of these quotes, which is why I wanted to make a video about it. But I think, if I had to fill in the blanks myself, part of the reason this article is published and part of the reason it's even a talking point is because earlier yesterday, there was footage circulating around on Twitter from Marc-Olivier Cook of Patrik Laine going out there getting really frustrated during practice. This will be linked in the description alongside of the article. It's a video of Patrik Laine missing the net on a drill. And after missing the net, he ends up going over to the boards and he slams his stick on the glass multiple times. Now, unfortunately, the video footage itself is kind of on an upward angle. It's right near the top of the ice, and so the footage itself doesn't really have the best view of Laine, but you could clearly hear in the video footage the whack, the whack, the whack. Like, he whacks his stick on the glass a few times, and like, he's not even practicing with any teammates. He's by himself with the coaching staff right there, trying to come in on goal, take a shot, and he kind of misses a little bit, and he gets frustrated because of it. So, with this in mind, I feel like this article on TVA is responding directly to that video clip of him losing it a little bit. And the piece starts out by saying this: there's only one person who's likely to be harder on Patrik Laine than Canadiens fans if this doesn't work out. Patrik Laine himself. He appeared annoyed at times during Friday's practice, unhappy with his performance in some drills. So there you go, literally what we had just talked about, the video clip of him kind of getting ticked off and hitting the glass. The newcomer to the Montreal Canadiens, who had occupied a place within the second unit of the power play, did not seek to evade this when questioned on the subject by a colleague. I'm pretty hard on myself, if you haven't noticed yet. I'm convinced it will happen, he had told reporters with great honesty. Obviously, I know what I'm capable of accomplishing and why I'm here. So when it doesn't work out, I'm hard on myself. I'm very demanding. I have to be able to find a balance, especially since I haven't played much recently. Although he understands his player, Martin St. Louis must still learn to know him better to give him the tools so that he can better deal with the pressure he puts on his own shoulders. It's a process. I think when I spend more time with a smaller group, I'll be able to focus on that a little more. Getting to know him better, learning his tendencies and how he behaves with the ups and downs, said St. Louis. And I do find it interesting how Laine was directly responding to questions on him being on the second unit and not having this immediate ice time on the first unit. We had talked about this in the video yesterday, but I do feel like if Laine stays on unit number 2, with Josh Waugh, with Lane Hutson, there's no way the Canadiens are not going to allow Laine and Hutson time to cook. Right? Let him cook now. That's the entire thing. These two guys, placed on the second unit, will leave the Canadiens coaching staff no choice but to start rolling out power play 2 a lot more often, maybe even starting some power plays with that second unit. Sure, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky is the ideal unit, but I mean, if you have 2 other guys that are super good on the second unit, why not try to diversify the wealth a little bit? Here are some other comments towards the bottom here. The strategies employed by St. Louis, the new conductor of the Habs power play, don't seem to worry Laine too much. For him, all that matters is scoring. I don't really care what we do in the power play as long as we score goals, he had said. I was on a power play in Winnipeg that had 35% success and nobody was moving on the ice, whereas other power plays were constantly moving like Edmonton. It remains to be seen whether he'll be able to operate the second unit. Now, that Winnipeg power play. Man, that was a work of art. Ehlers, Laine, Wheeler, Scheifele. So good back in the day, but still, it's a different style, I would say, of power play that you predominantly see dominate the NHL in today's world. Edmonton is, I think, probably the best team in the league when it comes to power plays. New Jersey is also in there too. What do both of these teams have? They have guys with speed, centers who are very much capable of taking over a shift with their mobility and how quickly they glide up and down the ice. Jack Hughes and Connor McDavid set the tone for the power plays on these squads. And Patrik Laine, while he does have some jets once in a while, no pun intended, we had seen the end-to-end rushes that he was able to score in different parts of his career. He doesn't really excel when he's skating around and moving in the offensive zone and firing it from the hip or whatever. No, he is really, really good on the 1T. He is really good with a catch-and-shoot kind of moment. He doesn't need to be gliding and roving around looking for the perfect snipe because, quite frankly, he's a lot more unpredictable when he has the puck for a short period of time and then lets it rip. He's got a really good scoring touch, and it seems like there's nobody else on the planet other than Patrik Laine who will be the most demanding of that and expecting of that heading into next season. We're seeing how frustrated he's getting when he's missing the net in practice, so just imagine the pressure that's cooking there when he misses a shot in a game or whatever. And then the next shift he goes out there, the Habs fan base start cheering their heads off, he kind of streaks down the ice like Alexei Kovalev, and all of a sudden he's got himself that confidence back. There's a really good opportunity here for Montreal, even though it's expensive, even though he's making $8.7 million. The fact that he cost only Jordan Harris and the Canadiens got a second-round pick too kind of goes to show you that there is a risk involved, but it's one that I think many Canadiens fans are going to be super willing to bet on as the 24-25 season comes along. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Patrik Laine and this update regarding his frustrations in practice and his overall response to the pressure, how he himself is dealing with the expectations that others have on him, but as well as the ones that he has on himself. Because I think there's nobody that's going to label more expectations on Laine than the guy in his own brain. Didn't he say he wanted to be a 40-goal scorer with this team? Yeah, I'd like for him to be a 40-goal scorer too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Patrik Laine and this entire conversation. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.